And they say you can't have seconds of your favorite dish. But guess what, guys? We're coming to you with the second episode of the week. We've done this before where we have posted shorter form content, but again, we are still in the infancy of this podcast. So we're still working some things out. The first time we did it, it was called Between the Innings. Today, we're going to take it a little bit different. We're actually going to call this Get Hot. Seems to work pretty well for the format of the episode we're going for, which is a really short, kind of quick formatted episode where we just kind of rapid fire some questions. We actually have our outline of today's episode brought to you by the Pasley House, Tyler Pasley. Coach Paz has worked this up for us, and we're really excited. But again, we're trying to make it quick, so we're just going to get right into it. Paz, this is your ship to steer, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah. So first topic, season in review. So just to give some background, Langston obviously is a Snakes fan. He's wearing for those of you that are watching, he's wearing a D-backs hat. Shout out, those are some of the best uniforms in the MLB. Strick is a Red Sox fan, and if I need to go switch my hat, I will, but I'm not going to. Strick's a Red Sox hat, and then Red Sox fan, and then I'm a Cubs fan. So
where's your mug? Get your mug.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, go Cubs.
Go
so that's our three teams. So whichever one of you wants to start. Okay, so those are our teams: Diamondbacks, Red Sox, Cubs. You're going to get a little piece of all three regions, being West Coast, East Coast, in the middle of America. So whoever one of you wants to start, I don't care. You get a minute. Season in review. Go.
Okay. I got this because mine's short. Mine's super short. Red Sox came out of the gate in the preseason rankings. Everyone's like, oh, this is a year they can make a run. They're going to be a postseason team. And we were getting a lot of people were saying, whoa, way too early to be saying the Red Sox are going to be anything. And I myself in the beginning was like, that's kind of crazy that I think we were a top 10 in the power rankings, like preseason power rankings. And I was just like, I'm not going to go run in my mouth. Just want to see what happens. And then we kind of dipped a little bit, but then we built back up at the end of the season. And I think it all came down to young guys figuring it out. We had some younger talent with like Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, unfortunately, never made his way back up. Marcelo Mayer, he was out. And so I think if we would have kept some of these younger guys and they would have got hot, I think we maybe could have gone maybe a little bit further, but for the team we had and the chemistry that's still building, I'm super happy with how our season went. We got a lot of young guys who are going to do things for us, hopefully for a long time. I'm hopeful moving forward into next season.
Okay. I was a noted Red Sox hater at the beginning part of the year, and honestly throughout the season, and I'll touch on that in a minute. But Mike, your minute?
Yeah, so D-backs season, super disappointing. Offense was still good, injury plagued, super injury plagued as a whole. Pitching rotation and bullpen, super inconsistent. Finish 80 and 82. Again, just not a great season. I think, if we're going to, highlight some stuff from the season, offense, definitely a high point, led the league in runs scored. You have your big three there, Ketel Marte, Geraldo Perdomo, Corbin Carroll. Perdomo broke out, finished, fourth in MVP voting in the NL this year. It's a top 5 MVP guy. And then you had younger pitchers, Ryan Nelson stepping up. He had a great year. Again, super injury plagued. We lose Corbin Burns. We lose Justin Martinez. We lose AJ Puck. I mean, those are just to name a few. And then super just inconsistent. Season was over in September when we gave up an 8-0 lead to the Milwaukee Brewers in September. That was where the season ended for the Diamondbacks. We just couldn't recover after that. So they were in it, but they really weren't. So a little bit of a disappointing year for the Snakes.
Okay. So for the Cubs, and I'm gonna go on 5:30. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay. You went and got Kyle Tucker. Made a big boy move. won a postseason series, won 92 games. You were in the postseason for the first time in 7 years, and again won a series. Took the NLDS to 5 games against the whatever the Brewers were this year. It was a crazy team. They won 97 games with like really no true superstar, just a crazy team, just very well coached, as we know. You lost Justin Steele early. You still won 92 games. Cade Horton came up and kind of proved that he could be an ace in this league, and I think he can. You had Matt Shaw as your starting third baseman to start the year, and that was kind of a hot button topic because he traded Paredes for Tucker, and he ended up having a great second half. PCA was a star in the first half and had a really bad second half. It was a fun year to be a Cubs fan. I watched legitimately probably 90 games. It was a really fun season. Had a lot of young guys break out. Dealt with a lot of turmoil, but it was a good year overall. Won a postseason series. It's hard to be pissed at that. So I went over by 4 seconds. That's my review. It was fun. So, topic 2.
Well done, by the way.
Very well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, your biggest question for your team going into the offseason. This offseason, I don't think the free agent class is very good. I think it's very top-heavy, and I think it kind of tails off pretty quick. I think all 3 of our teams really aren't going to do much in free agency. Just my opinion. But, Strick, since you started, let's go back to you. You have 1 minute. What is your biggest question going into the offseason for your team?
If we let Bregman walk, what are we doing to replace him? If we let his glove and his bat go, which for the entire Red Sox season was a staple, like with him in the game, everyone just felt better. What are we doing to replace him, whether that is putting a current guy in his spot and letting him kind of try to fill those shoes, or are we going to go get somebody? Like you said, free agent class is very top-heavy. Is there somebody in that class that I think is a direct one-of-one replacement to Bregman? Not really. I don't really think, I don't think there's a third baseman in that free agent class that's going to do the same thing Bregman did for us. But the one thing I've always loved about the Red Sox is they might just go get a guy and he'll just flourish in Boston. So the one thing I would like to see in my question is, what are we doing? Are we going to get somebody, or is there a plan in place to in-house fix this problem, this gap, we can say?
Okay. Mike, 1 minute. What is your biggest question for the D-backs?
Whether we're going to be able to upgrade our pitching staff while simultaneously reducing payroll. They've already come out. And said that they're going to reduce payroll this year. I think our payroll in 2025 was pushing 200 million. It was like 190, 195, I think. They've already said they're gonna cut payroll. So how are they going to do that? It's probably not going to be through the free agent market. So just interested to see how Mike Hazen's going to navigate that, who he's willing to part with in terms of like young, controllable prospects, and who he's going to get back in return. I think anyone we sign on the free agent market's going to be probably like a midline starter and bullpen help. But I think it's going to be through the trade market, and we'll see if they can do it.
My Cubs one's going to be very similar to that, so I'm going to veer to a different question because there are 2 huge questions I think the Cubs have to answer. The obvious one is, how are you going to address the pitching staff? Because it's not going to be through free agency. It's not. I don't think they're going to go pay somebody. I think it's got to be through a trade. You just lost Shota. Steele's coming back from injury. Cade Horton again showed something. You got JMO back for another year. You got Colin Ray back. So you have the bones of a good rotation. But how are you going to address it? Because it's got to be through trade. So that's the obvious question. I think that the more interesting one for me is, what are you going to do? What are they going to do with all of these top prospects that you have in AAA? What are you going to do with them? Moises Ballesteros came up. He hit 300 in very limited at-bats, but that is his carrying tool as he can hit. He can't play defense. He's a big boy. You have Owen Casey, who was very sought after at the trade deadline, and you didn't want to get rid of him. You have Kevin Alcantara, the Jaguar, who I don't think has as much trade value, but he's another outfielder. What are you going to do with all these guys? You also have James Triantos, who's up there at AAA, Brandon Birdsell. Like, there's all these names that are all probably MLB ready and all need a chance. You didn't trade any of them at the deadline. So what's the plan? You lost Tucker. Is Cassie just getting right field? Is Moises Ballesteros finally going to get some burn at the DH spot? Like, what are you guys going to do with all these prospects? That's my biggest question. I don't want to get too ranty because I could go forever on this because it was very frustrating at the deadline. But I think that is their most interesting question. Well said by all three. And Strick. So now we're going to go into – yes, go ahead.
No, I was just throwing up the horns. Go Horns, baby.
So now we're going to ask each other a question about our teams. What's one question for you? So, Strick, I'll start with your question. What is the Red Sox direction? Because to me, it makes no sense. You just traded for Crochet and paid him. Bregman opted out. You don't really have a first baseman because Cassis is hurt. You have all these young pups coming up. You got into the postseason, but you kind of got embarrassed. What are you guys like? What's the direction? Because it doesn't make sense to me.
I think the direction is win with who we have. I don't really think.
Gross.
I think we've slipped into this small market mindset of we can't go out and get people. Like we can't go out and get Pete Alonso. We can't go out and get some of these bigger name guys because we just want to win with who we have, which in the past has worked. Like again, you look at some of these past Red Sox teams, like specifically me thinking like, and I'm not saying we didn't go and get people in those years, but you go win a World Series with guys like Johnny Gomes, Mike Napoli, and somewhat older Shane Victorino. Like that has been the recipe for success in Boston in the past, which is we just win with who we have. But I don't know if it works. Like I said, it's a young core. It's going to take maybe another year or two to really see some sort of like tangible success in the postseason, like getting out of the wild card and getting a little bit deeper. So I think our direction is try to make it work with who we have. And I think maybe that'll be it for the next, I don't know, man, maybe another year or two. And then maybe you see him make a big move.
Disgusting. Mike, do you have a Red Sox question for Strick? I think you're right, by the way. It's gross.
Yeah.
Not a question, but a comment. If I was Craig Breslow, this is what I would do. Okay? I wouldn't even worry about trying to bring Bregman back.
He's gone.
I'd let Meyer play third.
Yep.
And I would sign a guy like Pete Alonso or Gino and move Gino to first.
Yeah.
I think, like, offensively, that's what I would do if I was Craig Breslow. Just throw money at a couple of those big power bats and let the young guy play third. I think what's maybe even more interesting about the Sox is I think they need another arm in the starting rotation, and I'm curious how they're gonna, how they're going to address that. If they're gonna do that through free agency and then maybe try to upgrade the lineup through trade. I think that there's very interesting free agent pitchers out there that
Dylan Cease
could be attractive to the Sox. I think Gallen is going to be gettable, maybe for a little bit cheaper because he's coming off a down season. And I still think the stuff plays. Like he had a down season, his stuff was down. He kind of battled a little bit of injury there for a little bit. And I think he can still be I wouldn't put him at like a top tier guy, but he's still very good.
Yeah.
Like a Dylan Cease or a Zach Gallen, I think would be interesting for the Sox. But not really a question, just how I would address it if I was Craig Breslow. Like you bring in the power bat and then try to figure out some pitching.
5-second edition, bring back Schwarber. That's what I'd love, just to bring back old Kyle.
Okay. I think one thing that's interesting about the Red Sox is, Strick, you hit the nail on the head. They're acting like the A's, and they shouldn't. And I think that's why I've become such a Red Sox hater, because I have no ill will towards that organization. Breslow came from the Cubs, but man, they got to act like they're the Red Sox, because I think baseball's better when the Red Sox are good. But Mike, my question for you: are the Diamondbacks, do they really need to do anything this offseason? Because, and here's why. Their lineup, they had a top 5 offense in baseball. They had a crazy amount of unlucky injuries in the pitching staff. Yes, you're losing Gallen. I think Merrill Kelly comes back on a cheap deal. do they really need to do much this offseason to be a contender in the wild card? Because obviously the Dodgers are going to win the division. That's a no-brainer. But do they really need to do much? Because I don't think they do.
I'd like to see him bring in a bat, seeing as how we traded away Geno, traded away Naylor at the deadline. Yeah. I don't want him to trade Jordan Lawler. I think the upside there is crazy. I think you stick him in center field and you try to figure it out elsewhere. Yeah. I think you probably got to bring in a bat, but I don't think it needs to be anything crazy. Like I would be on board with like a Goldie reunion on a 1-year deal. Mm-hmm. Like just let him destroy lefties.
Yep.
And then I think the bullpen needs to be addressed. Like if I was going to have like a wish list of a reliever, I want him to. I'd love like a Robert Suarez from the Padres. Mm-hmm. He's a free agent this year. Mm-hmm. A little bit older, I think. I want to say he's 35. In his like mid-30s. Yeah, 35, bring him in on a 1 or a 2-year deal. A lot of experience, and I think he pitches great against everybody but the Diamondbacks. So why don't we just put him on the team? Yeah, I think they got to get help in the bullpen, and then probably like one bat because I'm not sold on Locklear yet. He got injured at the end of last year. Some kind of platoon at first base, whether it's Goldie and I'm not even going to say his name, but maybe ADC. Maybe Adrian Del Castillo learns how to play first base. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on the Snakes.
Okay. Strick, you have a Diamondbacks question for him?
Yeah. Mike, what does it feel like to be in the NL West? Because like the D-backs, like for all things considered, like were pretty talented. But they were in a buzzsaw division. I mean, you just have so many teams that were just playing out of their minds. I mean, it felt like you guys were down at the bottom of your division, but could have been towards the top of a lot of other divisions. Like you drop the D-backs in another division or two, and they're probably running it. So, like as a D-backs fan, how's it feel to be in the West?
Not great, man. I mean. I don't know how you want me to answer that, man. We play in the same division as the Dodgers, and they gave Shohei Ohtani $1 billion. Like, I don't know. Like, no, it doesn't feel good to be in the NL West, which is a buzzsaw. That's yeah. Other than the Rockies, at least we get some reprieve with the Rockies. But
they're terrible.
Any of the other division teams. I mean, I think that the Snakes finished 4th in the division with an 80 and 82 record. The Rockies were terrible, won 43 games, but every other team in the division was at 500 or above.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough. And if you have you have a cold couple weeks, like that can take you out of the entire season. Like you have to stay so consistent all throughout the season, and it's hard over 162. So, yeah, it's not great, dude.
I was on record before the season started saying the Diamondbacks are going to win 90 games. I don't know what it is about that roster that I love, but that's why I don't think they need to do much. I think you hit it on the head, Mike. Like, it's just kind of odds and ends things that they need to address. But, man, I think that roster's good. All right, Cubs questions. What you got for me?
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
How are the Cubs going to address losing Shota? And, like, how are they going to address their rotation and their bullpen? Dude, your bullpen was bad this year. Like, how are you going to address that? Or how do you think they address that?
Yeah, so the first half of the season, the bullpen was, like, one of the best in the MLB. And then in the second half of the year, it looked like a high school bullpen. They had just the most random hodgepodge of names in the bullpen this year. And it worked in the first half and in the postseason. In the postseason, the bullpen was really good. I think they need to bring back Brad Keller. They found magic in a bottle there, and he actually ended up being the 9th inning guy during the postseason, which was interesting because Palencia had the closer role during the year. But I think you need to bring back Keller. They have some internal options in AAA that I think they can use. but I think they need to find a way to just hodgepodge it together again. I'm not a big fan of just going out and signing a big name in the bullpen unless there's one guy who I think they can go get. I think they need to make a run at Devin Williams and reunite him with Craig. I think that can be interesting at the back end. The rotation, though, because I think this is the most interesting piece. I think they need to make a trade, and I think it's got to be a big boy trade. They tried to get Mackenzie Gore at the deadline. The Nationals wanted both Matt Shaw and Cade Horton, which is not realistic, but that's just the asking price of the deadline. I think if they got a Joe Ryan from the Twins, who are just a joke right now, like I think there are names that they can go get because they have the prospect capital, but I think it's got to be via trade to address the rotation. Plus, you get Steele back. That's going to help. The pride of Loosedale dog. Strick, we got.
So I want to make sure I word this very carefully. PCA had such a high first half and then such a low second half.
Yeah.
What do you think Pete Crow Armstrong is when he finds the middle? Like, is he what everyone thinks he is? Like, is he going to be the guy in Chicago? Or do you think his high was just that high that people were like, oh, baseball messiah in Chicago? Like, where's his middle ground? Like, what kind of guy is he when he's just average?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that he is so good defensively, and I think that the Cubs need to find a way to pay him because I think his defense is probably better than Kevin Kiermaier. He makes, and I'm a huge Kiermaier guy. His defense is unbelievable. He's got an absolute rocket for an arm. He gets I think it's like the 5-star catches that they can track now. He led the league by like a wide margin, even over Rafaela, who won the Platinum Glove, which I think was deserving still. I think his defense is always going to keep him on the field. Even with how bad he was in the second half, he still was one of the Cubs' best players because he's so good in center. And oftentimes, and Strick, you can speak to this better than us, you can't tell how good an outfielder is on TV because they don't show the jumps. But PCA, that's what he's so good at. So defensively, his floor is always going to be to some level where you can't take him out. At the plate, one thing he got really good at in the first half compared to his last year was he started pulling the ball in the air at an elite level. And that's why you saw all the home runs. Like he had a game against the Cardinals. It was right around 4th of July. He hit 2 or 3 homers in a game, and they were all pull side, and they were bombs. The issue is in the second half, they started throwing him fastballs up and off speed anywhere in the dirt, and he was just in swing mode. I think if he can figure out, I don't need to pull every single baseball that's ever been thrown to me, and I can hit a ball to right center with some authority still. I think if he can figure that out, I think he's like a 20-homer guy, probably hitting 250-ish, probably like a 310, 320 OBP, but I think he's going to get a lot of doubles and triples, and he'll probably be like a 450 slug plus guy. So he's probably like a high 750, 760, 770 OPS average would be my guess. His peak years, I think you're going to see like 30, 35 homers. You're going to see slugging probably closer to 5, but I think his average is like a 750 to 770 OPS, 20, 25 homers, good amount of swing and miss. But he's going to play elite defense. Like I think he's a good Glover in center until somebody else takes it away from him. Like I just think he's the guy. But that would be what I think his average is. I don't know if that's fair. That might be a little high, but man, his first half, like it wasn't missing. Like he was still striking out and he wasn't walking. We've talked about that, Mike, how he just can't walk, but man, he was good. It's in there. Like something's in there. Water's got to find its level in some capacity. So that would be my prediction.
MVP 9 this year.
Yeah. After he had like a 435 OPS in the second half, something stupid, and he was still he's good.
Dude, he's allergic to walking.
Yeah.
He had a 287 on base percentage. 2. It begins with a 2.
Yeah.
287. Not a typo.
Yeah. He just swung at everything. And
155 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Swung at everything. Kevin Kiermaier. God, when you brought up his name, dude, I was just having flashbacks. God, I love him.
He was really good. So for the sake of time, I only have one more topic because we only have like 5 minutes because we're trying to keep these tight. we're gonna talk about the AL MVP because I think this is one of the more interesting topics or one of the more interesting MVP discussions in a long time. Did Cal Raleigh? I'm posing this to both of you. Did Cal Raleigh actually have a case to beat Aaron Judge in the MVP? And I'm going to answer briefly, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I don't think so because of how statistically different they were. I understand that Cal's a catcher, but the stats to me, I don't think it's that close. But you guys go ahead.
I think if you're gonna, it's kind of a crazy comparison because when you look at the overall, like what do they do daily for their team, I think it's really hard to tell people who say Cal Raleigh does quote unquote more because he's the catcher and he's involved with every play. I think it's really hard to look at those people and say you're wrong. And this isn't my take; it's kind of a take that's going around. Do two awards. Do a most valuable like offensive player. Do like a most valuable like I don't know because
They already do that.
They do. Silver
They already
Slugger.
do that. It's the Hank Aaron Award.
we'll do like an MVP of each. I don't know. It's just
they do. It's the Hank
it's
Aaron
hard.
Award.
It's hard to say that. It's hard to say Cal Raleigh wasn't the most valuable player like in certain aspects because he probably was over Judge in certain aspects. But again, I don't know how that voting works. A lot of people do it that I don't. So who's to say? I think there's an argument for both sides that could be made.
So, because I see Mike's pulling stuff up, so I'll throw my 2 cents in here real quick. I think the interpretation of the award is just the best hitter. It's been that way for a long time. I think this year the only reason that Cal actually, in theory, had a shot is because the storyline would have been a switch hitting catcher hit 60 home runs and didn't win the MVP. I'm not bashing Cal because I love watching Cal hit. Cal is a great baseball player, obviously. Aaron Judge had like 70 more hits, hit like almost 100 points higher average wise. Judge hit 53 homers and won the batting title. He hit 330. He also played a fine right field. Like, obviously, he wasn't great, and he had the injury.
God.
I don't know, man. I just don't think Cal had a serious case. I really don't. Judge, he had a 1.0 OPS. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the storyline is the only reason that people are talking about it like this. Like, if you just look at the numbers.
Do you think if Cal hits like 2 or 3 more home runs, he wins it?
No, because Judge hit 53. I mean, Cal only had 7 more. And I say that like it's nothing, but like Cal had 60. Obviously, that's crazy. But Judge still had 53 and hit 330. Go ahead, Mike. I see the brain's already turning.
Aaron Judge only played 95 games in the outfield this year, by the way.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Interesting.
Yeah. He played 56 games as a DH.
Interesting. I didn't realize
so
that.
You're effectively giving the award to a halftime DH who isn't Shohei Ohtani and doesn't pitch.
Interesting.
I'm not saying he shouldn't have won. I wouldn't go as far as saying like Raleigh was snubbed or Raleigh got robbed. I wouldn't go that far, but I do think there's something to be said for a guy that played 159 games and 121 of them were behind the plate.
Mm-hmm.
And over 1,000 innings, almost 1,100 innings, I don't think he had one pass ball.
Yeah. I think he won the Platinum Glove last year, I think, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think there's something to be said when you're talking about total team value. Like, a guy who plays, like, an average right field in the smallest right field in the major leagues.
Yep.
Like, you're basically hiding him there. You can put anybody in right field in Yankee Stadium. There's been some bad defenders out there. Played a little over 800 innings out there and had a lower fielding percentage than Cal Raleigh. I think there's something to be said for the catcher position and what they do. They handling the pitching staff, captain of the infield, right? So would I say that Judge or that Raleigh got snubbed? No, I don't think so, because I mean the offensive statistics were just so crazy
Yeah.
for Judge. But I do think that, like, I think that where the voters ended up with how close it ended up being between the two of them, I was fine with it. I never, like, everyone's big thing, like, especially when you look on, like, Yankees Twitter, is like, an MVP doesn't have a whatever his batting average was at 240 something, 247.
Yeah.
MVP shouldn't have a 247 batting average.
Yeah.
Okay, like, that's the way the game has gone. He's got
Yep.
a 950 OPS, and he had 0 pass balls this year as a catcher.
Yep.
Like, I think that the voters got it right, and I do think that, like, it being or showing up as close as it was, I think is also correct. Like, I think you could have made a case for either one, and it would have been fine.
I think the interpretation of the award is really the issue, because when you think most valuable, like kind of like Strick said, and really what you said too, Mike, it's the whole package. It's not just the hitter, but how it's voted on is typically who hit the best. Is typically how it's voted on. Real quick, 30 seconds, because you brought up something interesting with Judge. Like, you're effectively giving a DH the award. What did you think of Schwarber being MVP 2 over Juan Soto? Because I thought that was insane, and I am probably the biggest Kyle Schwarber fan in the state of Arizona. Juan Soto was almost 40-40. He's only had, like, double-digit stolen bases, I think, in one other season.
Didn't Juan Soto get there? I thought he got to 40-40. Did he not?
No, he had 38 stolen bases.
Oh, that's crazy. No, I think that's crazy. I also think that I don't think that Schwarber should have been over my boy Geraldo Perdomo in the MVP race either. So,
I think I agree.
I think I make a case. It goes Shohei, Soto, Perdomo, which, like, we're splitting hairs at that point. But there were writers who left Perdomo off their ballot completely, and, like, just say you don't know ball if you don't know ball.
Yep.
What are we doing? I've definitely spun this to make this question about myself and Geraldo Perdomo, but I don't care, because I think he's underrated, and the fact that people left him off the ballot is crazy. But to answer your initial question, I think it needed to be Soto over Schwarber for sure.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. Strick, any thoughts on that?
No, the NL MVP race is like, it's you're fighting for second if Shohei's healthy. So I don't think it matters who's 2 and who's 3. It's because there's always going to be one guy who's 1. If he has a full season and plays his close to best baseball, no one's ever going to take that from him. So sorry for the NL. Tough ski in there.
Yeah. Any other award stuff we want to bring up? I'll bring up one thing real quick.
Rookie of the year.
Cade Horton got left off an NL ballot. Cade Horton had like a low 1 ERA in the second half as a rookie in the NL Central, where the Brewers had Devil Magic on their side. That was insane to me. But
Devil Magic as in the greatest coach of all time?
Yep. Shout out Pat Murphy. No, I do think it's interesting because it brings up kind of a different part of that debate where, like, Drake Baldwin being a catcher, I think helped him out a lot on his Rookie of the Year voting. So we're just gonna have a double standard there where it helps with Rookie of the Year voting, but not with MVP voting, which I think is crazy. So
the interpretation of the award is the problem. For sure.
I'll say
Cade Horton
this.
should have won.
I'll say this: Red Sox have Aroldis Chapman, got some hardware this year. You got Willier, you got Sedane, however you say his damn name. And then you got Roman Anthony, who was up there for rookie. Masataka Yoshida got snubbed. I think he should have been up there in the conversation for big MVP. But you know what? Like I said earlier in the episode, Red Sox are banking on who they have in-house, and we have a couple guys in-house who just got recognized, so that's kind of fun.
Roman Anthony, if he would have been healthy, I think would have fought Nick Kurtz potentially for the Rookie of the Year, because Roman Anthony started to hit lefties too, and he was taking walks at like a very veteran pace. Real
like
quick
a Soto pace.
It would have been
like
a Waffle
Juan
House
Soto
style
pace.
fight, dude, for that Rookie of the Year.
They would have still given it to Kurtz.
Yeah, 100%. That's okay.
5-homer game or whatever it was, I watched the highlights of that game. That was insane. what he
Scripted.
was doing. One thing that's interesting about him, he had a 1 dot, I believe, and had a 30% K rate. How much better can he get if he lowers that? Like, is he just a, like, how good's he? Because I watched
He's
him
really
a lot,
good.
and I watched him at Wake Forest. I've been a huge fan of him since college because he hit crazy homers with a metal bat. But he hit a 1 dot as a rookie with a 30% K rate. Like, is there more to him?
Yeah.
Like, is he going to be like the lefty Aaron Judge?
I mean, I think
Some are saying.
historically the guys who get this award, there's only more to come, right? Like there are some outliers who like they get it, and it's
Yep.
you
Shout
know,
out Jonathan India.
Yep. But
Kyle
you know what I
Lewis.
mean? Like a lot of these guys, they kind of keep going. So yeah, probably.
Yeah. The Cade Horton thing's interesting. Bringing it back to that, he got left off of a ballot in the NL.
God, he's
That was
getting a card.
That was
He's getting-
insane.
Hold on, he's grabbing something.
Is he?
It's a card, I think. Oh, he's rifling through something.
I can't find it.
He's associating
good.
the Dewey Decimal System at the moment.
Yeah.
I was trying to find that graded Kyle Lewis card.
Oh, yeah, Kyle Lewis was. I really liked him, but the NL Rookie of the Year was interesting. I think Drake Baldwin was probably just as deserving as Cade Horton, but I think you're right. I think him being a catcher is why he won it, because he hit 274 with 19 home runs as a rookie catcher. That's a very good season, but again, the interpretation of the award crazy. But that's all I got in terms of award talk. Anything else on you guys?
No.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that is our first episode of Get Hot. I think we'll stick with this format moving forward. This is nice. I like this. But no. Parting words, Langston.
Go Cubs.
Go Jacks.
Go Jacks, baby. Go Jacks. Horns were not mentioned this episode. Hate to see it. But no. We'd like to thank everybody for listening to this episode of the Hey Coach podcast, Get Hot edition. We'll see you next week.
Love you.